Late night, he tossed divorce papers at me. I asked nothing. I just signed right away. He was stunned. You're really signing it? I'll never forget that night. When Lucas Chin tossed the divorce agreement in front of me. The look on his face was like he was throwing scraps to a stray dog. Just sign it. He didn't even look at me. The blue glow from his phone screen lit up that face. That once made my heart flutter. Bella's throwing another tantrum. Just play along, humor her. I sat on the sofa, still holding the anniversary teacup he gave me 3 years ago. The tulip pattern on the side had already been worn down by my fingers, just like this marriage. Seeing me motionless, Lucas finally looked up, frowning slightly. Sophie Shin, are you listening? I heard him. I heard everything. Just 10 minutes earlier. His phone buzzed. The moment the screen lit up, I saw the contact name. Bella Baby had sent a message. She said if he didn't divorce soon, she'd marry someone else. She said. She didn't care about his houses or bags, she just wanted the title. She said she wouldn't be the other woman. After reading it, Lucas was silent for a long time. Then he pulled out that divorce agreement, already prepared, from his briefcase, and handed it to me. Sophie, you know. You're still the one I love most. He finally used a slightly gentler tone. Just like every time he'd sweet-talked me before. That girl Bella. She's just spoiled. Play along with me in this act. And once she calms down, I'll remarry you. I looked into his eyes, the eyes I once thought held galaxies and oceans, now filled only with calculation and impatience. I glanced down at the divorce agreement. No clear asset division, just sloppy lines. Agree to divorce. Assets separate. He was betting. Betting I wouldn't sign. He was betting I couldn't survive without him. He was betting I'd nod obediently like I always had before. Play my part, stay the woman behind him. But he forgot, I'm not that 18-year-old girl anymore. I picked up the pen and signed my name on the agreement. Sophie Shin, 3 characters, stroke by stroke. Written with more force than any word. My 27 years. Lucas froze, surprised. He picked it up, looked it over. Confirmed it was my signature, and then a faint, barely noticeable smile crossed his face. That's more like it. He stood up, patted my shoulder. Don't worry. Once this is over, I'll take you abroad. Didn't you always want to go to Prague? We'll go feed the pigeons. I stayed silent. He reached the door, then remembered. Turned back. Tomorrow, 3 p.m., Civil Affairs Bureau. Bella Bai demands proof, show her the divorce certificate. Just play along. The door closed. The entire villa plunged into dead silence. I sat on the sofa, motionless, until the light outside the window went from dark to dawn, and from dawn back to dusk. The next day at 2:30 p.m. Lucas Chen's car pulled up right on time at the villa gate. He looked sharp today, in a custom-tailored dark gray suit. The cufflinks were the birthday gift I gave him last year. His hair was styled perfectly too. The whole man looked like he was heading to some important board meeting. Not to get a divorce. Get in. He rolled down the window. His tone as casual as if he was asking me to run to the grocery store. I opened the door and slid into the passenger seat, noticing the seat had been adjusted. On the fabric, a faint trace of an unfamiliar perfume lingered, sickly sweet, enough to turn my stomach. Lucas seemed to notice too. Clearing his throat and cranking the AC to max. A bit hot. Isn't it? I stared out the window without a word. On the way to the Civil Affairs Bureau, his phone kept buzzing. With every buzz, he'd sneak a glance to check my reaction. My face remained a complete blank. I just watched the streets whizzing by outside. These streets. This city, this man. I used to think they were my forever. The year I turned 30. My parents died in a car crash. My brother was gone too. Even the golden retriever I raised from a pup was reduced to ashes in that fire. It was in Lucas Chen's family car that I escaped that fate. Back then, we were playing rock paper scissors. The 2 cars were too close. When the truck came barreling towards us, he shoved me down into the seat, shielding me with his own body. I survived. I lost my voice. The doctor said The doctor said it's psychogenic mutism, caused by severe psychological trauma. I can say a few simple words around people I'm extremely close to. But with strangers, or when emotions run high, my voice completely fails me. During that time, it was Lucas Chin who got me through it. He read to me daily, patiently teaching me to speak. If anyone called me a mute, he'd pick a fight. He took me to therapy, helped me with rehab, stayed up with me on countless sleepless nights counting stars. I thought he loved me. I thought, we're here. Lucas's voice snapped me back to reality. He parked. He came to my side, opened the door with gentlemanly flair, unbuckled my seatbelt for me. His fingers brushed my waist with a deliberate, careful touch. Sophie, don't be nervous. It's just a formality, he whispered in my ear. Once this is over, we're still husband and wife. I looked up at him. His eyes held a trace of tenderness. He comforted me, but couldn't hide his guilt. I nodded and got out. The civil affairs office wasn't crowded. The staff member was a woman in her 40s. She looked at the two of us, then at the divorce agreement. Her brow furrowed. The property division section here. It's not clear, she said, pointing. Maybe discuss it further? No need, Lucas smiled, waving. We're just fooling around. We'll remarry in a couple of days. The woman glanced at me. Ma'am? Do you agree? I nodded. And the breakdown is irreconcilable? I nodded again. The woman sighed. She'd seen many couples. She took out the receipt form and stamped it. 1 month cooling off period. Come back in a month. To finalize the paperwork. Lucas Chin took the receipt. He didn't look at me, just took a photo with his phone. I knew who he was sending it to. Seconds later, my phone vibrated. I looked down. Bella, bye. Thanks for letting us be together, sis. Attached was the photo of the receipt Lucas had sent her, along with a message he'd added. Happy now? Be ready for me tonight. I stared at that message for a long time. Then, I did something I should have done ages ago. Clicked the profile picture, blocked her. After finishing that, I took a deep breath and opened another chat window. A support group for my condition, joined 3 years ago. My assigned helper had a pink rabbit profile picture. Username, Bunny. I'd always thought they were a girl. For over 2 years, I'd tirelessly shared my daily life with them. From texts to voice messages, photos to videos. Months ago, our first call, I realized. The voice on the other end was a deep, masculine one. At the time, I was so shocked I nearly relapsed. Later, I found out. His name was Felix Fu. Not her, him. And just yesterday, he sent me a message. Have you decided? I held my phone, finger over the keyboard, hesitating. Then, I typed 2 words, I have. The reply was almost instant. When? I looked at the blinding sunlight outside the civil affairs office. I looked at Lucas Chin standing by the car. His back turned as he texted Bella bye. I looked at the smug, self-satisfied smirk on his lips. In a month. Paris. After sending that, I turned off my phone. I walked to Lucas's car. Get in, he said, not looking up. I'll drop you off. Business dinner tonight. Eat alone. I didn't say a word, quietly getting into the car. As the car started moving, I watched in the rearview mirror. The civil affairs office shrank. That red emblem glinted in the sunlight, as if drawing a final period on my past. Lucas Chin, you think I can't live without you? You think I'm your dog? I'd never dare disobey? You think I'm your dog, obeying your every command? You think I'll just cry and swap marriage for divorce in a month? You think you've won? What you don't know is, I stopped being your puppet long ago. I started a secret plan. Lucas thought I was home crying. In reality, I was out there hustling, running around nonstop. First, I found my parents' old friend, Uncle Fong, a lawyer. Uncle Fong's eyes welled up. Sophie, you've finally come to your senses. Uncle Fong, I need your help, I said, voice trembling but firm. I want to take back what's rightfully mine. Lucas never imagined how vast my parents' inheritance truly was. When my parents died, I was only 20, a college sophomore. Lucas and his mother offered to manage it, saying I was too young and naive. I believed them. I handed over everything, 3 companies, 2 buildings, land. Over the years, his mother mentioned good profits and my dividends. I never once checked the books. Because I trusted them. I trusted the man who stood by me and promised to care for me forever. But now, I don't trust anyone anymore. Uncle Fong spent 3 days on the accounts. The results were horrifying. My parents' 3 companies? Taken over by Lucas's brother, Leonard. On paper he managed them. In reality, ownership was transferred to him. The 2 buildings? 1 sold, 1 mortgaged. The land? Sold dirt cheap to a friend of Lucas. That friend then turned around and sold it for triple the price. All those dividends? Just pocket change the Liu family tossed me. And I, like a fool, actually believed they were helping me. Uncle Fong, I asked, can we get any of this back? He was silent a long time. Yes, but it takes time and evidence. He looked at me, pained. And you must be mentally prepared. This is a brutal fight. The Liu family has deep roots here. For a young woman to face them, it's incredibly difficult. I clenched my fists. Difficult. Yes, it would be. But no matter how hard, I have to see this through. I can't let my parents' life's work be swallowed up like this. I can't let the people who ruined me live so comfortably. Sold by the Liu family at a rock-bottom price. To a friend of Lucas Liu. Who then flipped it for triple the price. All those so-called dividends over the years were just pocket money the Liu family threw me. And I was foolish enough to think they were really helping me. Uncle Fong, can we get it back? I asked. Uncle Fong was silent for a long time. Yes, but it will take time. It needs evidence. And, you need to be mentally prepared. Uncle Fong looked at me, his eyes full of pity. This will be a tough battle. The Liu family has been entrenched in Jiangqing for over 20 years. For a young woman like you to fight them is too hard. I clenched my fists. It's hard. But no matter how hard, I must go on. I can't let my parents' life's work be swallowed up for nothing. I can't let those who hurt me live easy. I can't let myself live my whole life under someone else's control. I faced him without fear. And said, word by word, what I'm afraid of is never waking up. Uncle Fong was silent for a long time, then finally gave a heavy nod. All right. I'll help you. Besides Uncle Fong, I found another person, Felix Fu. Actually, it was an accident. 3 years ago, when I joined that patient support group. I went in with the mindset of helping others. I had mutism too, but I improved. I understood that kind of unspeakable pain all too well. That feeling of having 1,000 words stuck in your throat. Unable to utter a single one. The feeling of being treated like a freak, being mocked. Being pitted. So when the system assigned me Mian Mian as my support target, I helped her daily. Mian Mian, the weather is nice today. Did you go out to get some sun? Mian Mian, I tried a really delicious candy today. It's peach flavored. Do you want to try some? I'll send you some. Mian Mian, I watched a really good movie today. It's about a girl overcoming her psychological barriers and achieving her dream. I think you can do it too. At first, she completely ignored me. The messages I sent always vanished without a trace. But I didn't give up. Because I knew, for someone with psychological trauma, just joining this group was already a huge first step. What they needed was patience, companionship, and unwavering support. So I kept sending messages. For 3 months. She finally replied with one word, okay. That one word made me happy all day. Later, she slowly started replying a bit more. 2 words, 3 words, a sentence. She said she also liked peach-flavored candy. She said she had seen that movie too, and cried at the end. She said she also had a dream, but she didn't dare to say it. Our chats went from text to voice messages. From her voice, I could hear more and more emotion. From cold distance to warm dependence. I thought I was helping her. Until a few months ago. The first time I called her, the voice that came through was a man's. Deep, magnetic. With an indescribable gentleness. Hello, Sophie Shen. I'm Felix Fu. I was stunned. My phone almost slipped from my hand. You're a man? My voice trembled. Silence followed. Then he said, I'm sorry. I know I should have told you sooner. But I didn't dare. I was afraid that once you knew I was a man, you wouldn't talk to me anymore. When he said this, his voice was vulnerable. I breathed deeply. I suppressed my shock and panic, asking him, why did you use a girl's profile picture and name? Why do you use a girl's profile picture and name? He was silent for a long time, so long I thought he'd hung up. He said, because I was looking for you for my sister. Your sister, my sister. His voice suddenly became very soft. Your sister? My sister, his voice suddenly grew very soft. So soft, like to himself. My sister was mute too. It's a pink bunny. On the other end of the phone. She was only 15 when she left. Her favorite thing. A barely audible sigh came through the phone. Was a pink bunny. But I just can't let go. I want to know if someone was willing. After she was gone, I kept using her WeChat. I know it's sick, but I couldn't let go. If someone had been willing to talk and listen to her, maybe she wouldn't have chosen to leave. My tears welled up all at once. I remembered that feeling of being isolated from the world, Fu Siheng. I thought of my own mutism, of those days and nights I couldn't speak. Of that feeling of being completely isolated from the world. Felix Fu, I said, your sister must have loved you very much. But I want to be burdened by her. In that moment, I knew. Why? Because she didn't want to be a burden to you. He told me he'd been abroad all these years, recuperating. The line went silent. After a very, very long time, he said quietly, but I wanted to be burdened by her. But it still flares up when he gets emotional. In that moment, I knew the man in front of me had a heart. Softer than anyone else's. Later, we talked about a lot. You deserve better. I just smiled then, didn't answer. He told me he'd been abroad all these years, recuperating. While managing his family's overseas business. His voice held a trace of tension. What? Tell me. He said his mutism had gotten much better. But it still flared up occasionally when his emotions were turbulent. I'll book the tickets now. See you in Paris in a month. He was grateful I talked with him all these years. He said he was serious. Sophie Shen, leave him, he said. Tears fell silently. I didn't know. You deserve better. I just smiled, didn't answer. If I stayed by Lu Jingchen, I'd surely die. But now, I have an answer. Felix Fu, I said. Are the things you said still true? A puppet he could control. He said I was his dog. His voice was tense. What things? Tell me. He said even if I cried like a dog, I'd still be his. That moment. That you want to marry me. He never loved me. What he loved. The line fell silent for a full 10 seconds. Then he said, yes. Forever yes. What he loves is the sense of control, the feeling of superiority. A plaything he can mold and crush at will. But me? I will never let him win again. The final week of the divorce cooling off period. Lucas Chen finally remembered I exist. That night? He stumbled home drunk. Sophie? He yelled my name the moment he walked in. Sophie? Where are you? I walked down the stairs. Watching him slump against the sofa, unsteady. Sophie? He beckoned me, grinning like a child. Come here. Let me hold you. I didn't move. He frowned. Annoyance flickering across his face. What? A month apart? And you don't recognize your own husband? We're divorced, I said. My voice eerily calm. So calm it surprised even me. Lucas Chen froze. Then, he burst out laughing. Divorced? You said divorced? He laughed hysterically. Sophie Shen. Have you lost your mind? That was an act. A performance, get it? I don't care if it was an act, I said. All I know is. We signed the divorce papers. The cooling off period is over. We can get the divorce certificate tomorrow. His laughter died instantly. He stared at me for a long time. His gaze shifting from drunken haze to sharp scrutiny. Sophie Shen. His voice turned cold. Don't tell me. You actually believe that? He stood up, walked over, and looked down at me. Sophie Shen, listen up. The divorce is fake. You being my wife is real. You can't leave me. And I'll never let you go. I looked up into his eyes. In them, I saw possession, threat, arrogance. But not a shred of love. Lucas Chen, I said, word by word. What makes you think I can't live without you? Because you can't live without me, he stated, as if it were fact. You have no family, no friends, no job. You're too scared to leave the house. Without me, you'd starve. As he spoke, his expression was utterly convinced. As if every word he uttered was an undeniable truth. But I knew. He wasn't stating facts. He was brainwashing me. He was telling me, over and over, that I'm weak, useless, that I can't survive without him. So I'd stay obediently by his side, so that he could keep enjoying that thrill of total control. Lucas Chen, I smiled. You know what? You're pathetic. He was stunned. So pathetic, you can only feel valuable by putting others down. I held his gaze, speaking each word clearly. You're so pathetic. You need someone who doesn't love you to fill the emptiness inside. You're so pathetic. You think the world revolves around you, when in reality, you're nothing. Sophie Shen. He snapped. He grabbed my wrist. Say that again, I said. I stared back at him without flinching. You are nothing. His grip tightened violently. It hurt, but I didn't care. Because compared to the agony I've endured this past month, this pain was nothing. Lucas Chen. See you at the bureau tomorrow. I shook him off and went upstairs. If you don't show, it's fine. I can handle it myself. Honestly, I don't even care about that certificate anymore. The sound of shattering glass echoed behind me. I didn't look back. The next day, Lucas showed up anyway. He was dressed in a black suit. His face so dark it looked like a thundercloud. Sophie Shen. He stood at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau, his voice icy. I'm giving you one last chance. Change your mind now. And it's not too late. I looked at his face, the one I once thought I'd gaze at for a lifetime. It suddenly felt so foreign. No need, I said. The process was quick. Sign, stamp, certificate. It was all over in less than 10 minutes. As we stepped outside, Lucas suddenly grabbed my arm. Z. His voice was hoarse. Are you really sure about this? I looked down at his hand. That hand? The one that had held mine so tightly in my darkest hour. That hand, the one that taught me to write when I was mute. That hand, the one that put a ring on my finger at our wedding, vowing to take care of me forever. But now, that hand only filled me with disgust. Lucas Chen, I lifted my head, meeting his eyes. Let go. I won't. Let go. I said, I won't. His voice rose sharply, drawing stares. Sophie Shen, do you really think you have anywhere to go without me? You have no money, no job. Not even your ID card, it's with me. Where could you possibly go? I pulled something from my bag and held it before him. It was a plane ticket to Paris. Flights tomorrow afternoon. I said, first class. Lucas was stunned. You? Where did you get the money? My parents left it for me, I replied. Did you think transferring those companies I'd be left with nothing? Lucas Chen. You've underestimated me. My parents set up a fund for me in the bank, starting when I was very young. That money, you can't touch it. No one can. His expression completely shattered. And another thing. I pulled a stack of documents from my bag. These are files my lawyer compiled. A record of every single way you and your brother have been embezzling from my family's company. Take a good, long look, Lucas Chen. Then think about how you'll pay it back. You're insane. You're crazy. Lucas snatched the papers from me. His hands shook. Sophie, do you know what you're doing? I know exactly. I'm taking back what's mine. Of course I know. I said I'm taking back what's mine. You can't get them back, Lucas Chen roared. Those companies haven't used my brother's name in ages. Suing is pointless. Is that so? I smiled. Well, we'll just have to see about that. With that, I turned and walked away. Sophie Shen. Lucas Chen shouted after me. Stop right there. I didn't stop. Sophie Shen. Come back. I didn't look back. Sophie Shen. You'll regret this. I laughed. Regret? The only thing I regret is not seeing your true colors sooner. The next day, I boarded a flight to Paris. First class. Window seat. The moment the plane took off, Jiang City shrank in the distance outside the window. This city I'd lived in for 27 years. This city that held all my laughter and tears. This city that took my parents, my brother, my dog, and then stripped me of all my illusions. Goodbye. No. Never again. Once the plane leveled off, I turned on my phone. There was a message. From Felix Fu. Landed yet? Still in the air, I replied. 10 more hours. I'll wait for you. Just 3 words. But looking at those 3 words, my eyes suddenly welled up. Not from sadness, but because it felt so good to have someone waiting for me. 10 hours later, the plane landed at Charles de Gaulle Airport. I dragged my suitcase out of the arrivals hall and spotted him immediately. He was even taller than he looked on video. Wearing a dark gray overcoat, a beige scarf around his neck. His features were sharp, with high cheekbones and deep brown eyes. He looked somewhat stern. But the moment he saw me, a light sparked in those stern eyes. Sophie Shen. He strode over and pulled me into a tight embrace. His embrace was warm, with a faint scent of pine. Felix Fu. I buried my face in his chest, my voice muffled. I'm here. I know. His arms tightened around me. His chin rested on the top of my head. You're finally here. We held each other for a long time in the airport terminal. So long that passengers came and went around us, casting all sorts of glances. But I didn't care. Because in that moment, I finally felt safe. Needed. Loved. Felix Fu took me to his apartment in Paris. It was a very old house. On a small street in the left bank, by the Seine River. The exterior walls were beige, covered in climbing vines. Pushing open the iron gate, revealed a small courtyard, filled with flowers. This is where my mother used to live. Felix Fu said, unlocking the door. She loved Paris. So she bought this place. When I was a kid, I'd come stay here every summer. He opened the door. I stepped in and froze. The living room was small. Every corner is arranged with care. Walls are covered in paintings. Mostly landscapes, and some portraits too. On the mantelpiece, there's a row of photo frames. Inside them, pictures of a little girl, from baby to teenager. From her first words to becoming a young lady. Is this your sister? I asked softly. Felix Fu nodded, his eyes dimming. I walked up to the fireplace and looked closely at the photos. The little girl was very pretty. On her round face, she had a pair of especially bright eyes. When she smiled, 2 little dimples, so sweet. Her name was Fu Sinian, Felix said quietly, standing beside me. Vivian, from Unforgettable. She was adorable. Felix looked at the photo. His gaze softened as if it could melt. When she was little, she was my shadow. Followed me everywhere. When I did homework, she'd draw beside me. When I played basketball, she'd cheer for me from the sidelines. If I didn't do well on a test, she'd hug me. Big brother is the best. You'll do great next time. His voice suddenly choked. Then she got sick. She stopped wanting to talk. I took her to see doctors. They said it was psychogenic mutism, caused by long-term psychological stress. I asked her, why are you stressed? She wouldn't speak. I asked her, who's bullying you? She'd just shake her head. Later, I found out. His fist clenched. It was a couple of the servants in our house. When I wasn't home, they'd abuse her, starve her, hit her, call her a motherless child. She was too scared to tell me, because she was afraid of burdening me. The day she left me a note. It said, Big brother, Earth is too hard. I'm going back to Rabbit Planet. A tear slid from the corner of his eye. I reached out and gently wiped it away. Felix, I said. Your sister never blamed you. Not once. How do you know? Because she loved you. I looked into his eyes. When you truly love someone, you don't blame them. You only wish for their happiness. Felix looked at me. His eyes rimmed red. After a long moment, he said softly, Sophie? You know, the way you talk, it reminds me of her. Really? He smiled, a gentle smile. You both have this. This pull, this force that draws people close. After settling in Paris, Felix started helping with Jiang City affairs. Uncle Fang's side had made progress. He'd found several key witnesses willing to testify in court, proving the Liu brothers transferred my parents' assets through fraud. At the same time, Felix used his connections to reach out to several top lawyers back home, forming a powerful legal team. Don't worry, Felix said, this time, I won't let anyone hurt you. His earnest warmth touched me. Felix Fu, why are you so good to me? He was taken aback for a moment. Then he smiled. Because you're worth it. Just those 4 words. My tears fell. Worth it. He never said those 3 words to me. Lucas Chen never said that to me. He'd only say, you can't survive without me, you're nothing. You're my dog. But Felix Fu says, you're worth it. You deserve to be treated well. You deserve to be loved. You deserve a better life. See? People who truly love you never put you down. They only make you feel like you're the most wonderful thing in this world. The days in Paris were the most peaceful time I've had in years. I'd wake up early, go to the bakery downstairs for fresh croissants, then take a walk by the Seine River, watching the pigeons. Afternoons, French class at school. In the evenings, I'd come back and cook for Felix Fu. On weekends, Felix Fu would take me to every corner of Paris. We went to the Louvre to see the Mona Lisa, up the Eiffel Tower, to watch the sunset, had picnics in the gardens of Versailles. We sat on Sacré-Cœur steps, listening. Once, at a used bookstall by the Seine River, we found a very, very old book. It was a book of fairy tales. A story. Felix Fu opened the book. On the first page, he saw a line of writing, to Nian Nian. May you always be happy. Love, your brother. He froze. I froze too. This is. I stared at the book in his hand, my voice trembling. This is, the one I gave her. Felix Fu's hand was shaking. The year she turned 8. I gave this to her. She said she wanted a magic book. So I bought this one. I even wrote in it. How did it end up here? Felix Fu was silent for a long time. Maybe, she sold it. His voice was barely a whisper. Before she left, she got rid of everything she owned. Donated her clothes, sold her books, even gave away her favorite toys. She left nothing behind. I squeezed his hand tightly. She did leave something. I said. What? You. Felix Fu looked at me, his eyes reddening again. Sophie Shen, he said. Do you know, after meeting you, I feel like Nian Nian might not really be gone. She just found another way to stay by my side. I didn't say anything. Just held his hand tighter. The wind blew in from the Seine, carrying the scent of water and flowers. In the distance, the Eiffel Tower glimmered in the sunlight. In that moment, I felt like there was still beauty in this world. Beauty worth believing in. The days passed one by one. And news from Jiang City kept coming. Uncle Fang said. Leonard Liu has been summoned. He and his brother Lucas Chen. Their past deeds are being uncovered. Not just seizing my family's assets, but also tax evasion, commercial fraud, and even a few cases of suspected bribery. Sophie, Uncle Fang's voice came through the phone. Excited. They won't get away. I gripped the phone, my voice trembling. But Uncle Fang's tone grew serious again. Lucas Chen has been looking for you. He's been asking around, trying to find out where you are. Be careful. I know. I hung up and leaned back on the sofa, stunned for a long time. Lucas is looking for me. Why? To win me back? Or to get revenge? What's wrong? Felix Fu walked out of the study, saw my expression, and frowned. Lucas Chen is looking for me, I said. Felix's eyes instantly turned cold. He won't find you. He walked over to me. Hugged me. I promise. I'm not afraid. I just don't want to see him again. You won't see him. Felix's voice was firm. As long as I'm here, no one can hurt you. I buried my face in his chest, listening to his strong heartbeat. Thump, thump, as if telling me, it's okay. Everything will be all right. But some things aren't something we can just avoid by hiding. That afternoon, Felix and I were returning home, just reaching the apartment building, when I saw a familiar figure. He'd lost a lot of weight. Stubbly, his suit wrinkled and messy. Completely devoid of his former confident, polished look. It was Lucas Chen. He saw me, and his eyes lit up. Sophie. He strode towards me. I finally found you. I instinctively took a step back. Felix stepped in front of me. Who are you? Felix asked coldly. I'm her husband. Lucas said loudly. Ex-husband, I corrected. Lucas's face instantly changed. Sophie? His voice softened, pleading. I was wrong. I shouldn't have treated you like that. I shouldn't have been with Bella. I shouldn't have tricked you. Give me another chance. Please? We're divorced, I said. There's no chance. There is, Lucas said urgently. We can remarry. I can give all those companies back to you. I can cut ties with Bella. I'll agree to anything, just come back with me. Lucas Chen, I looked at him, speaking slowly and clearly. Go home. It's over between us. I'm not going. Lucas suddenly became agitated. Sophie Shen, don't you forget. Who was there for you when you were at your most desperate? Who helped you recover from your mutism? Who gave you a home? You're ungrateful. I laughed, a cold laugh. Lucas Chen. Look me in the eye. Did you ever help me? I did. You only helped because your mother forced you. You married me because I wouldn't let you touch me. All that so-called caring was just you feeding your own need for control. You never loved me. You loved having everything under your thumb. You told your friends, even if she cries like a dog, she'll always be my dog. You said that. Lucas Chen's face went deathly pale. You. How do you know about that? The phone call. I said. You were drunk, and all those things you said to your friends. I heard every word. You said you were sick of me. You said you married me because I wouldn't let you touch you. You were curious if I could make a sound, in bed. Lucas Chen's lips were trembling. I was drunk. Drunk talk. Drunk words are sober thoughts. Stop lying to yourself. You don't love me. You never did. Lucas Chen stood there, his whole body shaking. After a long time, he slowly sank to his knees. Sophie? His voice was so hoarse it was almost inaudible. Please. Give me one more chance. I can't live without you. I looked down at him. This man who was once so high and mighty, now kneeling before me, pathetic as a stray dog. But I felt no satisfaction, none at all. Only sorrow. Sorrow for my past self. For that foolish girl who believed in love. Who gave everything so naively. Lucas Chen, I said. Go home. Be a better person. Live your life. Don't come find me. I'm not leaving. He stood, lunging towards me. If you won't come back with me, I'll... He didn't finish his sentence, because Felix Fu's fist connected with his face. Lucas Chen fell to the ground, clutching his bleeding nose. Staring at Felix in disbelief. I told you. Felix said coldly, as long as I'm here. No one hurts her. He turned and took my hand. Striding into the apartment building. Lucas Chen's desperate cries echoed. Sophie. Come back. I didn't look back. After that, I never saw Lucas Chen again. Later, Uncle Feng told me. The case against the Chen brothers went to trial. The charges, embezzling my family's assets, tax evasion, commercial fraud, were all proven. They were sentenced to prison. Lucas got 8 years. Leonard got 12. As for Bella Bai, she had her own troubles. The baby wasn't Lucas's. This was Uncle Fong. Told me later, he said. While Bella was with Lucas Chen. She was also seeing several other men. Who the father really was? Even she couldn't say for sure. Lucas Chen learned this news while in prison. They say he completely lost it right then and there. He thought. He had abandoned me, abandoned our marriage for Bella Bai. He gave up everything for her, only to end up the biggest joke of all. And that joke? He wrote the punchline himself. My life in Paris slowly started to find its rhythm. I found a job teaching Chinese. My student was a 6-year-old Chinese girl, absolutely adorable. When she smiled, she had these 2 little dimples. She reminded me of Felix's sister. I taught her daily. And tell her stories. She really took a liking to me. Every time she saw me, she'd come running and hug my leg, calling out in her little baby voice, "Teacher, teacher." One day, she suddenly asked me, "Teacher, do you have someone you like?" I was caught off guard, then laughed. "Yes, I do." "Who is it?" "He's a very gentle person," I said. "Is he handsome?" "Very." "Is he good to you?" "Very good." "Will you get married?" Her questions made me blush. Kids shouldn't ask so much. She giggled, then suddenly pointed out the window. "Teacher, look. It's that handsome uncle." I turned to look. Felix stood outside the classroom, holding flowers. Tulips. My favorite. I walked out of the classroom. He came up to me and handed me the flowers. "You're early today?" I asked. "Because I missed you," he said. My face burned even hotter. "Felix Fu, could you not say things like that in front of a child?" "Why not?" He smiled. "I'm just telling the truth." His gaze made me feel all flustered. I looked down. I arranged the flowers. "Sophie Shen," he called my name. Marry me." My hands froze. "You." "What did you say?" I asked. He stepped closer, cradling my face in his hands, making me look into his eyes. "Marry me. Not for show, not for a performance. A real marriage. I want to be with you. For the rest of our lives." I looked into his eyes. In those deep brown eyes, I saw my own reflection. His gaze was serious. Gentle. So gentle, and so firm. No calculation. No pretense. No condescension. Just love. "Okay," I said. A tear slid from the corner of my eye. He reached out and gently wiped it away. "Don't cry," he said. "I'm here for you now." Lucas Chen had said those words too. But it was different. When Lucas said it, it was charity. When Felix says it, it's a promise. We went to the Paris City Hall. On a beautiful, sunny afternoon. In the presence of an old mayor, we became husband and wife. The old mayor said a long speech in French. I didn't understand much. Just nodded along. Felix leaned in and whispered the translation. Marriage is a promise. It's supporting each other. It's growing together. He said. He hopes that in the days to come, facing any difficulty hand in hand. He paused, looking into my eyes, his voice growing very soft. He said, "May your love flow like the Seine, never ceasing." I cried. Not from sadness, but from happiness. So this is what happiness feels like. It's not grand gestures. It's not earth-shattering moments. It's just having someone who's willing to hold your hand through every ordinary day. It's just having someone who, when you need them, is always by your side. It's just having someone who treats you as the most important person in the world. That's all. After we got married, we moved to a small house in the suburbs of Paris. That house had a big yard, filled with flowers. Felix Fu built a swing in the yard, the exact style I loved as a child. I'd water the flowers, read books, and sunbathe in the yard every day. On weekends, we'd go into Paris, visit museums, eat delicious food, watch street performers. Sometimes, Felix would take me for walks along the Seine. He'd point at the pigeons flying over the river and say, "Look how free they are." I'd lean on his shoulder, We're free too. Yes, free. I was finally free. No longer controlled by anyone. I could speak loudly. I could laugh out loud. I could go anywhere I wanted. Do anything I wanted. Sophie Shen, once housebound, was dead. The me now is a brand new me. A free, independent, powerful me. And all of this, I owe to one person. Not Felix Fu. It's the me who finally gathered the courage to take that first step. It was me. I saved myself. News from Jiang City still trickled in occasionally. Uncle Fong said. Lucas Chen behaved well, might get reduced sentence. As for Bella Bai, she lost the baby, her reputation was ruined. They say she left town. No one knows where she went. The Liu family's business collapsed. Leonard Liu's wife took the kids and moved abroad. Never came back. That once powerful Liu family that ruled Jiang City just fell apart like that, Uncle Fong said. Some of the assets from my parents' company had already been recovered. The rest? Still tied in lawsuits. Sophie, Uncle Fong said. Your parents are watching from above. They'd be so proud of you. I held the phone, tears falling again. Dad. Mom. Brother. Can you see? Your daughter didn't disgrace you. She finally stood up. She finally became the person you hoped she'd be. One night, Felix Fu and I sat on the yard swing, stargazing. The Paris night sky was beautiful, full of twinkling stars. Felix, I suddenly said. Do you believe in heaven? He was silent. Then he said, I do. Why? Because? He looked up at the sky. My voice was soft, because Nian Nian is there. Your parents are there too. They're all watching over us. I looked up at the sky too. So many stars. Each one sparkling brightly. It reminded me of when I was a child. My mom told me that every star in the sky is someone who loved us. Even though they're gone, their love is always there. Felix, I said. Thank you. For what? For coming into my life. He turned his head to look at me. His gaze was as gentle as the stars. Sophie, he said. I'm the one who should be thanking you. Thank you. Thank you for coming into my life. Carrying the scent of flowers. In the distance, the Paris cityscape. The Eiffel Tower lit up. Golden lights twinkled in the night sky. Like a blessing just for us. I leaned my head on Felix's shoulder. And closed my eyes. My heart was so calm, so at peace. No more fear. No more insecurity. Because I know. Whatever comes in the future, I won't be alone anymore. I have him. I have myself. I have a whole future ahead. And that person who once hurt me. That person who once made me wish I was dead. That person who thought I was his dog. He can't hurt me anymore. Because I finally understand one thing. I am not anyone's dog. I am my own master. I am Sophie Shen. A free, independent, unstoppable woman. And those who tried to control me, belittle me, hurt me, they will pay for what they did. Not because I took revenge, but because they themselves chose their own destruction. That's life. You reap what you sow. Lucas Chen sowed deceit, betrayal, and control. So what he reaped was a prison sentence. I sowed courage, perseverance, and self-love. So what I reaped was freedom, happiness, and someone who truly loves me. Fair? Absolutely fair. Every cause and effect in this world is a choice you make. And the power to choose is always in your own hands. So, no matter what you're going through right now, no matter how weak, small, or helpless you feel, remember this. You are not anyone's accessory. You are your own master. You have the right to choose the life you want. You have the power. You deserve love and respect. You deserve every wonderful thing this world has to offer. Don't let anyone else define who you are. Because only you know who you are. And only you can decide who you will become. This is my story. The story of a woman who clawed her way out of the abyss. From slave to master. A story of betrayal, deception, manipulation, awakening, rebellion, and rebirth. If you're going through something similar, if you feel trapped, too, remember my story. Remember, you're not alone. Remember, you deserve better. Remember, you can do this. Trust me. You can.